Good day, students. You're welcome to another section of our week lesson. And this week, we have been talking about what? Matrices. Last time, we discussed on how we can add and subtract what? 2 by 2 matrix. We went further to identify what? The dimensions of what? Various what? Matrices. And we represent dimension of matrix row by column. So last time we will limit ourselves in 2 by 2 matrix. So this time around we are going to what? Add and subtract higher order of what? Matrices. And our specific objective is by the end of this lesson you should be able to add other higher order of matrices, subtract higher order of what? Of matrices. Okay, now let's just go quickly. In our first example here, we have to find the sum of the matrices below. So this is matrix G and this is matrix F. Now, like I said in our last class, there are rules that will guide us to add and subtract what? Matrices. And the first thing you need to note whenever you want to add or subtract matrices, you have to check if that matrix have the same what? Dimension. Now, the same dimension meaning that the first matrix must have the same dimension as what? As the second matrix. Now let's see this case. Here we have what? First row. The first row, the number in the first row is what? 1 and 2. The second row we have 3 and 4. The third row we have what? 6 and 7. So meaning that in matrix G we have what? 3 rows. The same thing in matrix F, we also have what? 3 rows. 1 0, 1 1 and 0 1. Now let's check the column. For matrix G, the column is one column which is 1 3 6 and that column 2 4 7. So we have what? 2 columns in matrix G. The same thing in matrix F, we have what? 2 columns. So meaning that our matrix G and matrix F have the same dimension. So we have what? 3 rows and 2 columns. And we call it what? 3 by 2 matrices. So you see, we are moving higher. The last time we limit ourselves to 2 by 2. So now we are seeing what? 3 by 2. Now in adding matrix, as we agreed last time, you take the first element and add it to the corresponding element or item in the second what? Matrix. And your answer must also be what? In that what? Cell. Now here I have 1 and 1 is located what? The first row and the first column. So I'll add it to what? To F, which is 1, the first row and the first column. So meaning that I'll have what? 1 plus 1. Okay, so the first row here I have 1 and the second row I have what? The first row in F I have 1, the first row in G I also have 1. So the red line, the red circle, you have 1 plus 1. And it's going to be what? In the first row and the first column. So 1 plus 1 is what? Is 2. It's still going to be what? In the first row and the first column. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the rest of the cell in the bar. So we have here 2. We are going to add it to what? To 0. So this 2 is in the first row and second column. So the second matrix will check also first row and second what? Column, which is what? 0. So we have what? 2 plus what? 0. And that's why we have here 2 plus what? 0, which gives us what? 2. Okay, so let's go to the second row. Now second row we have 3. In the first matrix, that's second row and first column, we have 3. This is shown in the blue line here. And the second matrix, the second row and first column, we have what? 1. So we have 3 plus 1. And 3 plus 1 is what? Is 4. Now, still on the second row and second column, we have 4 in the first matrix, and the second matrix we have what? 1. Just follow my cursor so you understand what better. So we have what? 4 plus 1. You can see that our answer is also corresponding to what we are adding. So anyone you add, your answer must be what? In that cell, in that line. Okay, so we have 4 plus 1, which is what? 5. So we have what? 5 here. Again, at the third row we have 6 for the first column, and in the second matrix for the third row we have 0 in the first column. So we have 6 plus 0, and 6 plus 0 is what? Is 6. Also still at the third row, but now at the second what? Column. Like I told you, column is what? Is your vertical line, and row is what? The horizontal what? Line. So we have 7 plus 1. So 7 plus 1 is what? Is 8. So let's see our results. I told you one good thing whenever you're adding or subtracting matrix, if you have any dimension of matrix that you're adding, your result must also have that same dimension of what? Of matrix. So you can see our matrix is what? 3 rows and 2 columns, which we call 3 by 2 matrix. Let's check if our results give the same dimension. Okay, so here we have first row, 2 2 is in the first row, 4 5 is in the second row, 6 8 is in the third row. Okay, so we have 3 rows all together, and our column we have what? 2 column. So our result gives the same what? Dimension, 3 by 2 matrix. Let's see more example. So this example I drafted out from the note I gave you in your Google class. So this matrix is 2 by what? 3 dimension. So let's see, we have to sum this matrix. We have matrix A and matrix B. So we're going to add A plus what? B, and we are adding it with the corresponding what? Matrix. So here we have what? First row, and we have what? Second row, and our column is 1 3 2 4 3 5. So we have 2 rows and 3 columns for matrix A. Let's check for matrix B. For matrix B, the same thing. We have what? First row, second row. So we have 2 rows and what? 3 columns for matrix what? B. So we have A plus B. So A plus B, we add each item in the first matrix to the corresponding item in the second matrix. Our result will also be in what? In that same what? Cell. Okay, so here I have 1 in the first row and first column, plus 2, which is 1 plus 2. Again, here I'll have 2, which is also in the first row. Try to sort that of the row before you move to the next row. So if you start with row, try to finish with the rows, but if you're starting with the column, try to finish with what? The column, so you're not going to mess things up. Okay, so let's finish the row, the first row. So here we are in row 1 and what? Column 2. So we have here 2 plus minus 1, which is what? 2 minus what? 1, and it's also what? In the what? First row and what? And second column. Again, we have here 3 plus minus 9, which is what? 3 minus 9. Okay, remember our rules in directed numbers. When we want to add or subtract numbers, when we have two directed numbers with different signs, our answer is what? Is negative, right? So we have to subtract. So we have here 3 plus minus 9. We're going to be what? 3 minus 9. So you subtract and keep the sign of what? Of the bigger number. Okay, so you were taught this in your first class. So let's move to the second row. Here we have 3 plus 4. You see they are corresponding to each other. The second row and is in the what? Column 1. we also add it to the corresponding item in the second row and column 1, which is what? 3 plus 4. Now the next one, 4 plus 7 and 5 plus 1. So we add these numbers together, or we subtract the one that have minus. 1 plus 2, we have 3. 2 minus 1, we have 1. 3 minus 9, we subtract, and we keep the sign of the bigger number. The sign of the bigger number here is what? Is minus. So we have minus what? 6. So 3 plus 4, we have 7. 4 plus 7, we have 11. 5 plus 1, we have what? 6. So this is what? Matrix A plus B. And you can observe that we also have the same what? Dimension. 2 rows and 3 columns, which we call 2 by 3 matrix. I hope that's clear. So the first example is 3 by 2 matrix, and this one is what? 2 by 3 what? Matrix. So let's subtract matrix. Okay, so this matrix is also what? 2 by what? 3 what? Matrix, right? So we have what? 4 here in the first row and first column. We subtract by the corresponding item in the second matrix, which is also in the first row and first column. So we have here 4 minus 2, 5 minus 4, 6 minus 6. Okay, so we are done with the first row. Now let's move to the second row. So let's go 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2, 4 minus 3. Okay, and that's what we have here. So our result, 4 minus 2, we have 2. 5 minus 4, we have 1. 6 minus 6, we have 0. 2 minus 1, we have 1. 3 minus 2, we have 1. 4 minus 3, we have 1. Now we observe here that our matrix is 2 by 3, and our result gives also the same dimension. Okay, so if your dimension is not the same as your question, that's if the dimension of your answer is not the same as your question, you have to check very well. But you know, before we subtract this, we say the dimension so that the dimension would know if they are the same. If they are the same, you go ahead to add or subtract. If they are not the same, there's nothing you can do. You just write down, we cannot what? Add this matrix, or you can say we cannot subtract this matrix, depending on what you're being given. All right, now let's move to higher matrix. But before then, you notice here everything is positive, right? So assume maybe I have a negative and I want to subtract. Assume, let's say these two here, this first two in the first row and second column of the second matrix, let's say it is negative. So we are going to have what? 4 minus minus 2. So be careful when you have a minus sign. So if it's minus 2, we're going to have 4 minus minus 2. And which is the same thing as saying 4 plus 2, because minus minus will give us what? Positive. Okay, so let's move to a more higher matrix. That's 3 by 3 matrix. So it's all the same thing we have been doing. C plus D. So this matrix is C. 3 by 3 matrix. This is first row, second row, third row. This is first column, second column, third column. This matrix C, and this is also what? Matrix what? D. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to what? Add what? This what? 2 matrices together. And the question says we are going to subtract also. Okay, find C plus D and C minus what? D. Okay, so we're going to take it step by step. All right, let's go. Follow me just the way I'm saying it. Try to observe it and also try to study it on your own and check if you have the same answer as mine. So as usual, we have the same dimension, so we are going to add and subtract this matrix. and we're going to add it to the corresponding item in the first matrix to the corresponding item in the second matrix, and we expect to have 3 by 3 matrix as our answer. Okay, so here we have 1 plus 9, 4 plus 6, 5 plus 2. So now I am done with the first row, and that's why I said always start with the row. Okay, start with the row so that you will know that you are done with the first row. And when you're add or you're subtracting, also try to write down the answer so that you won't get confused along the way. So now let's move to the second row. We have 8 plus 3, 2 plus 4, 9 plus 8. Again, that's the second row. Now for the third row, we have 6 plus 7, 7 plus 5, 3 plus 1. So you guys are expert in adding numbers now. So your results will be what? Will be this. And let's check if we have the same dimension. So this is first row, this is second row, this is third row, this first column, second column, and third column. So we have what? 3 rows and 3 columns, and we call it 3 by 3 what? Matrix. Okay, so try to subtract, try to do C minus D, and you see my answer next. Okay, now in this case we are subtracting C minus D, so we are going to have 1 minus 9, 4 minus 6, 5 minus 2. Okay, like that. Sorry, yes, supposed to be a minus sign. Okay, yes, supposed to be a minus sign. So here we have 8 minus 3, 2 minus 4, 9 minus 8. Again, we have 6 minus 7, 7 minus 5, 3 minus 1. So if we subtract our numbers together, so when you are copying your notes, but this is already in your notes, so just try to put here as minus. I'm sorry for this. So we have here 1 minus 9, which is what? Minus 8. 4 minus 6, minus 2. 5 minus 2, which is 3. 8 minus 3, we have 5. 2 minus 4 minus 2. 9 minus 8, we have 1. 6 minus 7 minus 1. 7 minus 5, we have 2. And 3 minus 1, we have 2. Okay, that's all what we have for today, and that's all about what? Addition and subtraction of what? Of higher order of what? Matrices. And you observe that we also have our results be what? 3 by 3 what? Matrix. So try to go through this video 2 or 3 times for better understanding. If you have any question, don't put it down in your Google Classroom, and I'll be so happy to answer your question. Start turning up your assignments, submit in the Google Classroom, or you can submit what? In my WhatsApp. Have a nice day and stay safe. Bye for now.